clip, right? The Midnight Grave Experiment. 37 seconds of pure, grade A nightmare fuel. For years, everyone's had a take. It's fake. Dude, obviously CGI. Nah, man, it's some film school final project. People have picked it apart, frame by frame. But here's the thing, they're all missing the point. They're looking for the trick, because the reality is something nobody wants to face. That footage isn't just real. It wasn't an experiment. It was a goddamn invitation. Our story kicks off in '98. The internet was still the Wild West, and a few things could go viral without even trying. It's about 3 grad students at a state university in Oregon, Ethan, Chloe, and Jared. Ethan was the driven one, the guy with the plan. Chloe was a heart, cautious, and smart. And Jared? Jared was a tech wizard who could build anything. Their thesis was, out there, they called it acoustic resonance in historically traumatized locations. A fancy way of saying they believed places where horrible stuff went down kinda recorded the sound of the pain, and they thought they could build a machine to play it back. For their little project, they found a perfect spot, Blackwood Penitentiary Cemetery. It wasn't just some old graveyard. It was where they buried the unclaimed inmates from the state prison that burned down in the 1950s. A place filled with the bodies of men who died violently, with no one to mourn them. Locals stayed the hell away from it, said the ground itself was bad. First night, they hauled all of Jared's custom gear up that hill. Microphones that could hear a pin drop a mile away. Recorders, the whole 9 yards. They sat there for hours in the cold. Next day, they listened back. Nothing. Just wind, some coyotes. Total bust. They were pissed. Second night, they went back. This time, Jared brought a new toy. A device he'd rigged to capture infrasound. Super low frequency vibrations that you can't hear, but you can feel. Around 3:17 a.m., all the needles on his machine just pinned. It wasn't a sound. It was a feeling. A deep, physical hum in the air. Like a bass note from a subwoofer you can't see. When they ran the signal through a program to make it audible, what they heard made their blood run cold. It wasn't a ghostly moan. It was a silence so absolute, so heavy. It felt like it was sucking the sound out of the room. It was like they'd recorded a black hole. They were freaked out, obviously, but Ethan, he was curious. He put that silence on a loop and started to speed it up, just messing with it. As the tempo increased, these dark, wet, guttural whispers started to rise up from inside the quiet. It wasn't English. It wasn't any language. It sounded like a throat trying to form words after being cut open for 100 years. After that night, the experiment followed them home. It wasn't on a hard drive anymore. It was in their lives. Chloe, the sensitive one, started hearing the whispers in her apartment late at night. She'd unplug her TV, her stereo, her phone, and they'd still be there, faint, right on the edge of her hearing. Jared started seeing things, shapes in the corner of his eye, movement where there was nothing. He started drinking way too much coffee just to stay awake. And Ethan got the worst of it. One night, he's in his dorm room, and the audio file just starts playing on his laptop. He tries to force quit it. Nothing. The mouse is frozen. Then a text document opens, and a message starts typing itself, one letter at a time. The message said, "We heard you. Now we see you." Ethan said he literally ripped the power cord out of the wall, so hard the socket sparked. But for a second, he swore the text kept glowing on the dark screen. That's when they knew. This wasn't a recording. They hadn't captured an echo. They'd built a goddamn antenna. And something on the other side had used it to lock onto their coordinates. They decided to go back. One last time. Not to record, but to destroy that machine. To burn it and shut the door. They finally understood. The whispers weren't from the spirits of dead men. They were from men themselves, trapped in the dirt, given a voice for the first time in half a century. And now they wanted more. This is the night that 37-second clip was filmed. They get to the cemetery, and the air is dead still. No wind, no crickets. Nothing. As they're walking toward that old rusted fence, that same heavy silence just drops on them. But this time, it's not from the speaker. It's coming from the ground itself. Ethan, panicking, clicks on his dad's old camcorder. He points it at the spot where they'd set up the equipment, and slowly, pushing up to the soil like oil, these dark, human-shaped figures began to rise. They weren't solid. They were like living shadows made of smoke and rot, their forms flickering and unstable. And the whispers, they weren't whispers anymore. They were a chorus of wet, gurgling voices, all around them, getting closer. In the last 5 seconds of that viral video, you see Ethan drop the camera, and boom, the camera tumbles into the mud, and for the final 2 seconds, one of the shadows, the closest one, surges forward, filling the entire lens, like it's looking right to the camera at you. Then static. Ethan, Chloe, and Jared were never seen again. The cops found their cars abandoned at the base of the hill. Their equipment was scattered all over the cemetery, but no bodies, no trace. It was like they were just erased. A year later, some hiker finds Ethan's camcorder, and the cops pull this 37-second clip off the damaged tape. No one knows how it got online. People think the video is proof of their death, but that's not it. It's a recording of the invitation they sent. They didn't die. They were collected. They're part of that silence now, trapped in Blackwood with all the other souls who were given a voice and are now screaming for a body. And sometimes when you're alone watching this video in the dark with headphones on, you can hear a new voice mixing with the chorus. A clear, terrified young voice, screaming the same word over and over. Run,